We're under a domestic debt exchange program. Blue chip investments, such as pensions, were touched in this country. It tells you how low we sank economically as far as our economic performance and fortunes and livelihoods of people. Because if you touch your pensioners or the pots of your pensions, right, in a domestic debt exchange program, it is the lowest you can go in any economic reform. In any case, what led us there? What led us to that point where we had to even touch blue chip investments such as pensions was our borrowing spree. The Akufo-Addo-Ken-led borrowing spree on the international market, which has nothing to show for as far as investments are concerned. We're challenging the previous government of the day. Tell us what you did with Eurobonds. Tell us what you did with all of the borrowing sprees and roadshows you went for as far as these borrowings were concerned, which culminated in the celebration of KK parties at the Princeton of the Finance Ministry. The forecourt of it, where we celebrated bonds with the KK party. And we are here today saying government can take credit. Right. What has happened in the last couple of months leading up to this? It's a real commitment to the mess that has been caused economically. Right. We as a government are not looking at game blame or trying to say, okay, we did A. As far as I'm concerned, we're not looking at the first quarter's performance to say this is what the Mahama Atuforcing economy is looking at. We have a 4-year mandate, and a 4-year, or the health of a 4-year economy, is what we are looking at. Right. But if any blip comes in the process, it is worth contextualization to say that, okay, A, B, C, D happened, and this is what it's resulting in. Now, you had a domestic debt exchange program. You are under an IMF program. Mind you, right, it is only under this administration, the previous administration, I mean, the MPP government, where they were missing tranches. Because these are boilerplates, right, occasionally. They are standards, processes. Nobody cracked a sweat to access an IMF facility once you're under a program. But because of non-prudent spending, not adhering to the dictates of the IMF, we missed a couple of tranches. And when you're under an IMF program, again, in the basic of terms, there are two things you benefit. The fiscal discipline, because the IMF would give you a watchman. You say you can look after yourself, so we're going to give you a watchman or a babysitter, if you ask it that way. Right? At the time, we even had a babysitter at the central bank, sponsored by the Swiss embassy or the Swiss government. Did we need all of this? No, as a sovereign state. Right? So when they do this and give you that babysitter, the babysitter allows you to have financial discipline. In that case, there's a bit of tightening in the system and some form of internal control, but which is external in and of itself. I'll come to our side of things where we have an internal control. So when this happens, it can actually bring some growth in the economy because there's tightening. And you have an external watchman or a babysitter. Then what also happens is that speculation, as you were speaking to the analysts on TV, because you have businessmen who would say, okay, I want to watch because we're under a program. When is the tranche coming in? When is it hitting the central bank's kitty? So if you have that poultry farmer who wants to expand, they're waiting. When that happens, there's a bit of a respite as far as the cedi's performance is concerned. And if there's any forex investment to go in, they rush in to do it so they can have the full benefit of it. But what happened? In the run-up to this, we had a dysfunctional market because no one could predict. We missed a tranche, we missed yet another tranche. So the market became dysfunctional. And when this happens, we're overheating the market the more. And exactly what we did in the economy. But what did you hear? We're here, oh, we're going to turn a corner. But how do you turn a corner in an overheated economy when you haven't cooled off? So the cool-off effect, which they missed, is exactly what we are doing as a government. We started with what I call signaling, right from the vetting of the finance minister. He's been explicit to say, look, we're going to commit to the domestic debt exchange program. We're going to commit to an IMF program, et cetera, et cetera. What did we see? There was real commitment to the domestic debt exchange program. We reactivated the sinking fund, right? Which at the time we took over office had about 60 plus USD, 1,000 USD in it. Very insignificant to do anything about. So if we reactivate it, and where we could pay kind, we paid kind or committed kind payments. And where we could pay cash payments, we did that. Yeah. And that is what prudent economic management is. We committed to an IMF program, right, that we inherited, that was grandfathered to us as a, and under all of this, we still have, I'm not saying that we are avoiding or not factoring in some external factors. We are not an island as an economy, right? We are prone to external issues. You could imagine how they were flogging a dead horse with Russia, Ukraine, as the only thing that happened to them as far as the economy. So we are not saying, but here they are barring us from even bringing economic factors. You say Russia, Ukraine affected you in this manner. And when it comes to us trying to contextualize it, but mind you, I don't even know why this is a big debate. That the cedi is doing well and who is taking credit and who is not taking credit. Moro, and your cherished listeners, I say again, let me go basic. If we had come in and not fully committed to a domestic debt exchange program, not fully committed to an IMF program, not fully committed to fiscal discipline, internal controls advocated, right, by the president, by cutting down cost expenditure within the executive, cutting down the size of government, among other issues. If we hadn't done all of these, what kind of an economy would we have? So why would you say the government cannot take credit for any of what is happening? It's a bit disingenuous to go that way. I mean, it's Echo 101. Let's go basic on this. Why is it even a debate in the first place? Did Dr. Bawumia not show us the keys of what he locked and gave the keys to the IGP as far as our currency depreciation and issues are concerned? Again, programs and policies and initiatives are ongoing. The gold board, one of them. We make arguments. When they try to poo-poo the gold board, they forget that most of these gold is not going to bullion but forex. So if it's not going to bullion but forex, what it tells you is that it's invariably going to affect the cedi positively. I mean, there is a bit of cautious optimism here. I mean, from where I sit and per my role, I would not say I'm shouting hallelujah to this effect, but it's some respite in the economy.
You're saying it's early days yet?
I'm not saying it's early days, but what I'm saying is that it is my hope that we can sustain it moving forward.
Okay.
That, nothing untoward happened externally or internally that may, derail us of this. And the exciting feature of all of this, you have the governor of the central bank and you have the finance minister. They're not sitting aloof and watching. They're not even celebrating. All what they're saying is that we have to put in more measures to have stability in this direction to which we are headed. And I think that is where we all have to be looking at it from rather than an MPP, NDC kind of thing.
Okay.
We all saw what you did.
Okay. Let me.
So where is all of this coming from? It's not an NDC MPP issue.
Right.
As I said, the Mahama Atuforsen economy is committed to a 4-year economy.
Okay.
The president has been given a 4-year mandate, and that's his commitment. Right. Along the line, there will be successes. There may be challenges, right? But what has happened or what is reflecting in this are varied factors. Okay. They are a basket of factors. Right. We can unpack them one after the other to see what has happened. But to say the government has done nothing, or you have, right? The central bank that posted losses, right? The gold for oil program, which was purely mismanaged among other issues. If you have a damaged economy, whatever you are doing was to repair it, not to fix, not to really reflect or build up. It is a full repair of it that we are in the process of achieving, that we are beginning to have some benefits too. So can we leave this, MPP that, and to hold press conferences over this is quite a bit, because you've lost a heavy election and Ghanaians have given confidence. And you see, another point we're missing, Moro, is that investor confidence.
And do this finally.
Yeah, I'll do it finally. Yes. Investor confidence in this country, right? When you have, and it comes to the posturing of the government. Yeah. Given where we left off, a domestic debt exchange program, which demoralized and killed investor confidence in this country. People no longer wanted to go mainstream formal investments. Check in the last 3 months, 4 months or so, given the real confidence and the signaling effect of the Mahama Atuforsen-led economy, you would see that investor confidence is beginning to bounce back. Check with the banks and see deposit rates, right? See, sign up to investment programs or policies or initiatives of these banks. These are all anecdotal and evidential in statistical terms of real growth and investments in the economy. So these are things we need to look at and contextualize, not to say nobody did anything. Right? When you are bloating and having 100+ ministries, someone came in and said, I'm cutting them to 60.
Right.
He's still not even hit the 60 mark.
Yeah.
And you think that's not prudence? That's not an internal control that could help bow an economy or probably put confidence into an economy? Come on, guys.
Okay. Let me bring in Ernest. Ernest, I think